Hey everybody, it's Tony Schiavone of All Elite Wrestling, and this is True Hill Heat. And I said it right, you motherfuckers.
Yo, what up? You know what it is. It's your boy AJ Francis reporting to you live from New York City, the birthplace of hip-hop. And I'm telling you that I'm only tuned in with True Hill Heat Wrestling. Holla at me.
Welcome to True Heel Heat, the place where we use insider terms because we think we know what the fuck we're talking about, even though we don't. My name's Maxwell Jacob Friedman, and I'm better than you, and you know it.
Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your True Hill Phenom, SP3. We are live on the True Hill Heat Sports and Entertainment YouTube channel, as well as True Hill Heat's Facebook and Twitter for our Daredevil Born Again Season 1, Episodes 5 and 6 reviews. And we got all the goodness that we've been wanting, that me and Corey and Chase and Steve have been talking about this whole season. We got it in these 2 episodes here. So we're here to discuss it, as always, on a Sunday. Appreciate y'all for joining us live. Appreciate y'all if you're watching us on demand. But of course, I am not alone. I am joined by my esteemed colleague, the person who's been joining me the most on this Daredevil Born Again journey. You'd see his work over on Fightful and Fightful Select, one of the main reporters talking about WWE, NXT, and European wrestling. But he also talks about some Daredevil Born Again. He is Corey Brennan. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. Looking forward to talking about these episodes. Just amazing episodes and just so much to unpack. So
indeed, and it's like the first time we did this Daredevil Born Again review, because we got a third person joining the team here, Daredevil super fan, but you see him over on the Around the Point Network, see him sometimes on the True Hill Heat Wrestling YouTube channel. He is Chase Oliver. How are you doing?
Doing well, man. Recovering well from my surgery and stuff. Just got to take the medication afterwards, and I'll be all in the clear, hopefully by September.
Good to hear. Good to hear. I'm glad you're back with us to talk about what I think was the best pair of episodes this season so far. Probably the best episode of the season for me in this pair of episodes here. So I'm looking forward to talking about it with all of you, as well as all of you watching. We appreciate y'all for joining us. And of course, show your appreciation back the simplest way possible. Just drop the thumbs up on this video. You can also share this video with all your Daredevil fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you're new to the True Hill Heat Sports and Entertainment YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And of course, sound off in the live chat. We love to interact with all of you guys, hear your thoughts on this week's episodes 5 and 6 from Daredevil Born Again. We already got Power Driver Finisher in the chat saying this fucking show. I know a lot of people felt this way after this week's episode. Like, you're getting me all in the feels, all in the everything. But yes, we're here to discuss it. And I mean, I just want to get overall thoughts. We're going to start with episode 5 here. And I will just put it out there right from the start. Episode 5 is my favorite, and in my opinion, the best episode of the entire season. Chase, what did you think about episode 5? Overall thoughts before we break it down.
I'm with you, SP3. I might break the scale. I've only done it for one other episode that I've seen recently in TV. Last of Us episode 3 with the romance and everything that went on there. Oh man, I'm breaking the scale. I don't care. I don't care if people get pissed. I'm out to give it 11. It's a beautiful episode. What I want.
This is exactly what I wanted from Daredevil. What about you, Corey?
Well, I love that there was so much Irish involvement. I love that they were they decided they mentioned Guinness and a leprechaun and a priest, and they decided that's it. That's all they have to mention for it to be an Irish episode. But yeah, just I think a lot of people considered it the filler episode of the season that we actually talked about last time, SP3.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think it might be more of a bottle episode where we'll find out more about this background of it later in the season. But yeah, just fantastic episode as well. Up until the episode after, it was my favorite episode of the season as well. So can't really say anything bad about it.
I just know, like, with the Netflix, even the Netflix shows, a lot of the bottle episodes were my favorite. Like, I always go back to Defenders, the whole episode in the Chinese restaurant. I think it's the best episode of that entire series, with them just interacting with each other and being amazed that Jessica Jones is so strong and that Danny Rand is speaking Chinese and all of that. That was my favorite episode, and I just enjoy these type of bottle episodes. And I knew it wasn't any wasted time because I watched the show with Jimmy McElrath for his channel, and I saw it was at like 39 minutes. It was like the runtime from the video file that he sent me, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be a shorter episode. And then I knew, I was like, oh, they're gonna go right to business when it goes right into the intro. You don't get no cold open. Every other episode in the season has had a cold open before you go to the intro. They went right to the intro, and then it was right to business. So let's get into things. As you said, the bottle episode here. It's called With Interest, which has to do with a bank, because a bank account comes with interest on occasion. And this was probably the most intense and entertaining 39 minutes of television that I've seen in quite some time. And it was solely focused. We're going a little bit off of what we've been saying, Corey, and Chase, what we said about episodes 1 and 2, and then lastly with episode 4, where the show is really structured as there's the A plot of Matt, there's the B plot of Kingpin, and then sometimes they'll have an outlier C plot. But this one just went, no, we're giving you all A plot, all Matt Murdock for this 35 minutes. So we start with Matt. He's playing with the horn, the Daredevil helmet horn in his hand as he's in a bank, and he's listening around to conversations going on in the bank. There is a couple, a new married couple that is opening up a bank account. There's a lady who's on the phone talking to somebody about being in the bank or whatever, and then there's Matt who's sitting there. He's waiting for the bank manager, but instead of the bank manager, he gets Yusuf Khan. And just in case you did not know he was from Miss Marvel, he reminded you a bunch of times, because that is why my headline here says my daughter Kamala, because I felt like that was the word. It felt like we built this city from episode 4. This was the we built this city was my daughter Kamala in this episode, Corey.
I love the world building that they've done. It's kind of like what they did in the first season of the Netflix version, where they were like, oh, after the event, because they were referencing Avengers. But I loved Miss Marvel. But I think the best part about Miss Marvel was Iman and her family. So it was just that was the core of that show. So getting to see Yusuf again was a lot of fun, and just my favorite part about that entire scene was trying to show Matt the pop and Matt having to go, "I'm blind," basically, like just basically just looking at him like, "Come on."
He's like, I
yeah. I love that part. You go.
No, I was gonna say it's so funny because he right before that he touches the candy, so he knows where the candy is at. Then he shows him the pop. Like you literally just did. Like you're aware that he's lying, and then you just got so excited talking about your daughter that you just forget that.
It was just another one of those times where like it's just like Yusuf plays off the fact that he messed it up so well. It's just like such a natural reaction to kind of go, oh, I'm just gonna put this down. Then it's it's just such a like small thing, but like just so fun to see a character like that again.
Absolutely. Were you a fan of Miss Marvel as well, Jace?
Yeah, I like the show. I don't know why people were complaining about it. They were complaining for some reason. I didn't understand. I thought the show was fine for what it was. Like I wasn't expecting it to blow me away. Like I don't know. Sometimes people's expectations with Marvel, they just go way too high for some reason. I was like, you know what? Let me see how they introduce this new character. I mean, at the time, I thought the villain was Kane. So I was like, can this person box with Kane? And then Kane was ruined for me when Ant-Man was boxing him up in the movie. So I said, anyone can box with Kane at this point, bro. Ant-Man's laying hands on you. Like, look, I know Ant-Man's strong. I get it. But you can't be getting boxed up by Ant-Man. Like, you got other superheroes on a bigger threat. Ant-Man can't be boxing you up, son. And once I saw that, I saw her powers. I said, oh, she can beat one of the Kane variants. She can beat 5 of them easily, no problem. Now I don't know. Doctor Doom's the villain, so I don't know. Ms. Marvel against Doctor Doom, she might get boxed up. But yeah, the show was good. Yusuf was actually one of the best characters on the show, so I was happy that he was involved. So yeah, no, excellent introduction to Yusuf. I love that Matt doesn't know who Ms. Marvel is. He's like, who? And stuff. I'm like, hey, like who you talking about? Like, I guess he doesn't pay attention to all the other vigilantes. He's just like, I don't care about these people. Like, they don't care about me. I don't care about Iron Man and all these other people. Like, who cares?
True. Matt's in his own world, basically. But
yeah, he didn't have to sign the Sokovia Accords. He didn't sign this.
He wasn't involved in that. So the bank is a New York Mutual Bank. That's where he's at, and he's basically there to get a loan for the law firm. Matt meets with Miss Marvel's father, Yusuf Khan, who is the assistant bank manager. He's filling in for his absent boss, Stephen Aldridge. He mentions his daughter Kamala is in California on vacation. Now, is she on vacation seeing her friend Bruno at Caltech, or is she perhaps visiting maybe a Cassie Lang in San Francisco as another Young Avengers theme? I know they announced this week they're not doing Young Avengers anymore. I believe they're doing Marvel Champions, which is also another group that Miss Marvel was involved in the comic books. But what do you think? Do you think that she's just out there to see Bruno, or is she visiting maybe another Young Avengers flat champion? Corey?
Honestly, I'm not going to try and speculate on this because with Marvel, it could easily be nothing or it could be everything, basically. Like that's the way these kind of throwaway things operate. So I think it's possible. I think it sucks that we're not just running with Young Avengers because what was it at the end? Was it at the end of the Marvels, the post-credit scene where?
Yes.
Yeah. I really enjoyed that. That popped the hell out of me. I was really excited seeing that post-credit scene. So it's a bit unfortunate about that, but I think that Young Avengers or as a concept, you got to get that done, whether it's as champions or whatever. You need to get these people on screen as a team together before you age them out of being young. Mm-hmm. like we get it. You could slow down time in enough in your cinematic universe, whatever. Time still works for the actors. So yeah, like Tom Holland is getting less and less baby faced by the day, and he's still supposed to be in his first year of college. So it's like, so I don't know. I hope so. I hope it means more. I hope we do get to see Miss Marvel and Matt meet up and kind of just. I imagine Miss Marvel will just geek out about Daredevil like every other superhero she's met. So that'll be fun. I think I always love those scenes. So hopefully that continues.
To be fair, Haley Steinfeld is 28 years old. And by the time the movie or TV show comes out, she'll be 30. So I understand the move from Young Avengers to Champions.
Yeah.
It's better. It's better because they're not going to be very young by the time you do this. What do you think about the tease of Kamala being in California, Chase?
See, the thing is like, because like at the end of Miss Marvel, they played like the X-Men theme. So like they're trying to make her like more she's a mutant than anything else. And I don't know where we're at in the Marvel timeline. Are the X-Men now based out in San Francisco? Because I know after like all the stuff going on in the comics, they do go to San Francisco. They do go to Northern California and put a base out there. So maybe she's visiting some other mutants. Who knows? Maybe there's like a little X-Men group over there. So either Marvel Champions or something with the X-Men, because they did tease it with the X-Men theme. So I was all like, they're making her a mutant almost. So who knows? We'll have to wait and see with that one. But I'm glad she's going to still be featured. So I'm cool with that.
Yeah, me too. I am a fan of Miss Marvel. I was very confused on why it got so much heat. But then I understand that anything with females involved in superhero roles always going to get heat from Marvel.
Oh
yeah.
Poor Ironheart. You don't have a chance, girl. Sorry, you're screwed.
You're definitely screwed.
After no shot.
After mentioning he's from Jersey City, Yusuf makes sure to name drop the hometown hero of Miss Marvel. He even shows off his custom Funko Pop of her, always the proud papa. He also had a mug that said "World's Okayest Dad," which came from Kamala, knowing her corny ability of getting lame joke gifts. Matt is there trying to get a loan to keep his law practice afloat after so many pro bono cases. Sadly, Matt and Kristen's practice is over leveraged, and Mr. Khan has to turn them down, although he does so in the sweetest way possible because he's the sweetest man out there. He even liked when Matt complimented Jersey City. He said that's the nicest thing anybody's ever said about Jersey City. But Yusuf is in the wrong place at the wrong time, while Matt is in the wrong place at the right time. Not long after Matt leaves the bank, an armed Irish gang comes up, and they say they're going to be there for 20 minutes. They're going to rob the bank. Apparently, they work with Luca, and this comes after Kingpin and Kingpin basically made Luca pay off 1.8 million in restitution. So they're attempting to rob the bank to basically make that money for Luca. They go in, they attack everybody, each wearing a different colored ski mask, holding all the customers hostage. Mind you, all the ski masks are colors of Infinity Stones. I don't know if anybody peeped that.
They couldn't help themselves.
They couldn't help themselves.
It's the same thing with the logos. For like everyone's like, oh, every Avengers movie logo is a color of an Infinity Stone, and it's like, you think they meant to do that? They realized they had 2 more colors left, and they were like, screw it, we're gonna do that.
And then the diamond that they go after looks like the Mind Stone as well. Yeah. So that was fun.
When I saw that stone, I was like, okay, what magical powers is it going to have now? That's basically what went through my head at first, because I was like, surely it can't just be a normal diamond, a normal gem. It's Marvel. It's got to be some magical superpower-induced thing or something.
Maybe you never know in Marvel. So Yusuf hides in his office. I think he tries to call the police, but there's the whole connection is down. The whole cameras are down as well from the Irish gang. I think it was the girl that's the inside man that basically did it from the inside. As Matt is walking home, he hears the bank robbery underway. Matt walks back. He tells Kristen on the phone to call the police, and then he walks back in. He is the most unserious person ever. He comes in, he's whistling. He's like, comes back in, and they're like, what the hell are you doing here? They didn't lock the doors. They're not good robbers, apparently. Our mass robbers are making the standard threats. Mind you, also with the inside man, the girl that they had in there, that's the only person he's nice to, the guy with the green mask. He's like, over this way. Over this way. No, he is. Go back and watch it. He goes like this. Oh, this way, ma'am. This way, ma'am. Everybody else, he's like, move.
Yeah, but like that's the thing. Like I get what you mean, but at the same time, he's not exactly the most aggressive robber in the world, is he? Like his whole thing with Matt, like the whole team is kind of just, well, not the whole team, but the leader at least kind of seems like kind of nonchalant about the whole thing the whole time, which I found to be really funny. So that was just my thought process when you said that. I was like, yeah, but he wasn't really an asshole.
Matt reminds the leader that if they kill anyone, their armed robbery charge converts to first-degree murder. Matt always lawyering up, even at this time, and that leads to the guy with the green mask calling him solicitor. Oh, we have a solicitor. He decides to respond to Matt's legal expertise by punching him in the stomach. The green mask hostage taker in charge, whose name is Devlin, asks for the bank manager, Stephen Aldridge. But as Mr. Khan stated earlier when he was talking to Matt, he's not on the premises today. Devlin asks Yusuf what's his role if he works at the bank, and he says he's assistant bank manager. So he asks him to get in to open the bank vault, and he agrees just as the SWAT team arrives outside. But Matt realizes that Mr. Khan doesn't actually know how to get into the vault because he's listening to everybody's heartbeat. And I think that when he's listening to everybody's heartbeat and he goes around, they go around again and they like go, everybody's heart is beating fast. When they go to the inside, man, her heart is the slowest. It's the slowest out of everybody. I think right then and there, Matt knew that she's the inside man. I think he knew from jump. So he listens to that, and then he realizes that Mr. Khan doesn't actually know how to get into the vault. Matt whispers to him that when Devlin takes him to the bank vault below, he stalls for as long as possible. Detective Angie Kim, who we saw in episode 1, who's friends with Sherry, takes the role of chief hostage negotiator. After trading sarcastic pleasantries with Devlin, she even knows that he's from Belfast by the accent. Devlin asks for 3 armored AVPs so he and his crew can escape. And then he reminds her that if they don't give him what he wants, every hostage in the building gets a bullet to the head. I was like, I kind of like completely forgot about Detective Angie Kim, but I actually felt like she was more likable in this episode than the first episode. We only got like a small conversation between her and Sherry, but I thought she was great as the negotiator in this episode. What did you think, Chase?
Yeah, no, she was awesome. Like I was telling my friend, I'm like, yeah, this is definitely an episode that was part of the original idea of what Born Again was supposed to be. No reshoots on this one. This one was like, nah, this is ready. Let's just put it out there. It's a good like they literally said this is a good episode. We don't need to touch this whatsoever. That's why she's more prevalent. And I feel like I was like, man, it feels like the way she's talking, the way she's acting, it's like we're supposed to already know more about her. We don't know much about her. Like she just came in acting like a boss. It felt like we already got some type of backstory for her. Besides like sitting at a bar, we don't know much about her. But this scene was like, oh yeah, she's an established character. We got to remember who she is. And it's like I totally forgot about her until she said her name, and I was like, oh yeah, she was in the first episode. But no, good stuff between her and Devlin. Loved all the back and forth they had on the communications.
Yes, the joke. I don't know if you've ever heard that joke before. You being our Irish correspondent, Corey.
Irish. Look, I actually sent a message to one of my friends when I was watching this. I said, "What is happening? How is a US show doing actual believable Irish characters? Like they were like in the when they had the Irish in season 2, I couldn't stand it. It was just over character. It was so over top. Typical US depiction of Irish crime. When in reality, it's a lot more closer to what Devlin and his gang are like. I loved the solicitor. When he said solicitor, that made me like, because again, usually it'd be like, oh, we've a lawyer. No, we say solicitor over here. But just I do want to say as well, on top of Angie was great, but I want to just go back to Matt wandering in. I love when that man has to fake being blind. It's so funny when he's around people who don't know him at all, so he can just ham it up and just do whatever the hell he wants. Like you see him when he's around Heather and that, like you can see him like moving around and you can tell like, oh, he's not as blind as you would think. Like, but when he's around, it's just so funny to me, and it's just the way he just as you said, whistling, going, "Who me? Who me?"
he's like,
aggressive guy.
What's going on?
Yeah, just, and then the joke Angie made, just it had to be about a leprechaun, didn't it? It just had to be a leprechaun joke. Just you're insulting my entire like country of people, but thanks. Like, I when he started laughing at the joke, I was like, no Irish person would ever laugh at a joke that's shite. That was the thought process for that. But yeah.
I will say I think she had a pretty good Irish accent. What about that? Well, how would you grade he gave it a 10 out of 10. How would you grade her Irish accent?
It's the typical American attempting to do an Irish accent. I'm sorry, but it's always over the top, sounding like a leprechaun. Like, it's always the leprechaun voice, and it's so annoying. When in reality, it like when you heard Matt doing Charlie Cox doing it there, which is even more funny to me because it's an English dude who's doing an American accent having to fake an Irish accent. Just amazing. And when you hear him doing that, that's what an American sounds like impersonating an Irish person when they actually do it properly.
There you go. So Devlin decides to let 2 of the hostages go as a sign of good faith with Angie, and he picks a random woman from the crowd. And he also decides to let Matt go. Maybe he feels bad for punching a blind dude in the stomach. I don't know. But the woman doesn't want to leave her husband behind. Like we said at the start, Matt was listening in and heard that they just got married. Matt offers to for him to take his place. At first, Devlin uses the opportunity to mock the solicitor, as he calls him, and he finally relents after Matt basically gives him his background, being like, "Oh, what's your name? Matthew Murdoch." Oh, he's like, "Where are you from?" He says, "Hell's Kitchen." He's like, "Oh, funny man. Well, where were you from before the long swim?" And he was like, "I don't know. I'm an orphan." He's like, "We got a blind solicitor orphan." He's like, "Oh, you gotta stay. You gotta stay." He allows the woman and her husband to leave, and Matt stays behind. Of course, our man Matt has a plan. One of the robbers in a blue mask then takes Yusuf down to the vault. Matt then says that he has to use the loo, the restroom, but we know he's planning something. One of the bank robbers then takes him to the gentleman's room. Yusuf starts spitting out useless historical facts about the safe and the bank in front of the vault to stall, just like Matt told him to. Meanwhile, Matt can hear the whole thing, and he's being taken to the men's room. And I'm just getting hyped. I'm watching this, and I'm like, "Oh, we know it's about to happen. We know he's about to turn to the devil." Of course, he is being taken down the steps, and Matt just busts out all of his Daredevil moves, but he tries to do it in complete silence. I thought this was one of the best shot scenes of the whole series so far, where he drops the gun, he stomps on the gun so the gun doesn't go anywhere. He's choking up the guy with his tie and to make sure he doesn't scream. He's covering his mouth at the same time after an intense struggle where he even with the gun almost falls off of the stairs. Matt has to yoke him up, puts him in a triangle choke with the tie around his throat as he slides down the steps and he grabs the gun. Oh, I was like, let's go. Let's go. It's like, oh, that was awesome. That scene was probably my favorite of this entire episode. Chase, what did you think about just that scene alone?
I was on the edge of my seat with the gun. I was just like, "Oh man, that gun's gonna fall. That's where all hell's gonna break loose." And when Matt caught that after doing the triangle choke, I was like, "Holy shit, that that was awesome!" Like, great scene. First of all, this guy sucks. As you could tell these guys were not trained to be good bank robbers. Like, they weren't there to like kill anyone or do anything. Letting this guy walk freely, like, I get he's blind, but his hands or do something where he restrain him. No, that you could just go on and I trust you because you're a blind guy and stuff. So that's where I guess Matt's blindness helps him, and that people just are a little bit more sympathetic to him. But he can kick your ass. But very good, intense stuff. Like I said, the gun catching, that was just badass. Like, that was just like, oh my god. So at one point I thought he was going to use the gun. I was like, what? Why is he holding onto the gun like this? You don't use guns, Daredevil. But thankfully he did not break his code.
He did not. He did not. Corey, what did you think about this scene?
Same as Chase, like just so well done. Just a masterpiece of building tension with sound. Just like you see everything that's happening, but you know whenever like they hit the wall or anything, you're like, was that loud enough? Will they hear them? And then again, the gun just slipping and slipping and slipping, and Matt making the judgment call, knowing that's gonna fall and grabbing it at the last moment. And again, the triangle, the fighting, the slow mo as you see him taking off his tie to turn and use it. Just again, and like Chase says, with him being blind, people are gonna give him a little more free reign, and he knows that, and that's what makes him such a good fighter as well when he's not even in the suit. And again, going a little bit back a little bit, but I loved as well again when he was like, I have to go to the bathroom, and the guy just literally takes the shotgun and pushes the barrel to his head, and he's just like, do you feel that? just like, yep, feel that. Just he's already so done with these people at this point. But yeah, just such a good scene.
Yeah, and it was right before then when he asks us to go to the bathroom that he learns from a sanitation worker. The reason why I know that is from the next episode. He learns that the vault doesn't have any money in it; it just has valuable goods. And he says he has a Messier signed puck for the New York Rangers in there. So it's nothing. It's no real money. So he doesn't even understand why they're going into the vault. So after taking out the first robber, the blue hooded bank robber quickly realizes that Yusuf is stalling and doesn't know the vault combination. Right as things are about to get violent, Matt appears and just knocks him out with like one blow to the back of the head. He puts out his best Irish accent, like Corey was saying. He probably learned from his days on Broad Empire. So he tells him that, and then he convinces Devlin via walkie-talkie that he's the blue masked robber and that everything is going smoothly. Yusuf tells Matt that the vault has millions of possible combinations, but Matt uses his hearing to sound out the eternal gears, just like he did in season 2 when he was robbing. I think they were robbing robbing somebody for Elektra. I know he did it like a couple of times for Elektra, and he did the same thing there, thus opening the vault. Soon as he opens the vault, Yusuf's like, what kind of lawyer are you? And of course, Matt gets to use his best catchphrase, a really good one.
So fuck. Just the Leo pointing in the chair meme, just instantly, yes.
No way home. I know that line. No way home. Oh man, it's always pops me. But yeah, so they go into the vault. And Yusuf gets stealthy as Detective Kim is trying to convince Devlin to give her 1 more hour for his escape vehicles to arrive. Devlin tells Kim that she has exactly 3 minutes to tell him a joke, and if she makes him laugh, he'll give her 3 more minutes. She then tells him a very tasteless joke, and it actually gets Devlin to laugh about a leprechaun and a penguin. He then gives her a full 10 minutes or he starts killing hostages. Inside the vault, Matt and Yusuf find thousands of different safety deposit boxes. Yusuf tells Matt that the boxes each require 2 keys, one for the bankers and the other for the owners. Matt realizes that the robber he knocked out had the other key in his jacket. Once he discovers the right safety deposit box, inside of it is a rather expensive diamond. Like I said, looks like an infinity stone. Yusuf realized that this is a very precious stone for a bunch of low-level thugs, and he realizes that they are working for someone bigger. Just then, Matt starts hearing the hostages whimpering upstairs, and he also hears the SWAT team is preparing to storm the bank, and he knows that some of the hostages will likely die in the crossfire. So Matt tells Devlin the cops are about to enter the building once he comes back upstairs with Yusuf, and he offers him the diamond. He shows it off, and right as he tosses the gemstone in the air to him in the bag, mind you. It's in a bag, the stone that he just showed off. And the SWAT team buses in with tear gas and canisters, and chaos ensues. So, I have to give it to Matt. He was fast thinking on all of this. All of this took a lot of just fast-paced thinking. Once he hears this, he's like coming up with one plan for one plan, and all of this just moves very, very fast. What do you think about that whole sequence of events, from them finding the stone, him coming upstairs and coming up with a plan for Devlin to distract him long enough for the SWAT team to come in and keeping all of the hostages safe at the same time, Chase?
I want Matt's multitasking skills, because the fact that he can answer Yusuf's questions, talking about his trauma life, trying to hear how to click the locks. I would have told Yusuf, shut the fuck up, bro. I'm trying to open up the safe thing. He was like, yeah, hi. Yep, I was an orphan. Yeah, my dad died. He's like, I'm like, bro, just figure this out. And keeping Yusuf calm as Yusuf's fumbling the keys, making all this noise, and he also paying attention to what's going upstairs and outside of the building, making sure the cops are coming in and stuff. And oh my god! And then when he gets up there, the 3, 2, 1, perfect and stuff, like saying, and calling the bluff. All right, fine, kill someone. Show me you're gonna do it. Show me you're going to kill me. And then timing it so perfectly so the SWAT team can come in and make the save. But yeah, man, Matt was great. This is like, I just love how they're playing so deep into how good Daredevil's senses are. Like that's like the cool thing about Daredevil. Like the fact that he's like, I don't know, bottom on the floor, can still hear what's going on upstairs, but also paying attention to what's outside. Like, Jesus, what the multitasking is insane. Like this guy, he is a really good lawyer.
Multitasking hearing at that.
Corey,
what did you think?
Again, just agreeing with Chase completely. One thing I did really like that we didn't see before is the visualization of what Matt is listening to when he's actually trying to break into his safe. I really like that. People have been saying about CGI and stuff like that, but I actually thought that looked pretty cool. And again, multitasking is true as hell. This dude is doing 6, 7 things, listening to 6, 7 things at once, and he's just like, okay, I can tell what they're saying. And because it's a TV show and we get it from his point of view when he's listening, you can tell this dude is it's the radar. It's the radar here. And again, he can listen in to things in particular. And it's just so good. It's such a, people are always like, oh, if Daredevil goes into an Avengers movie, he's going to be outmatched. This dude can hear people coming from half a mile away. Yeah. Like in everything. Show me anyone on the Avengers team that can do that, yeah? But yeah.
It's true.
Great scene. Again.
Loved it. But this is where the action really picks up here, because the SWAT team comes in. In the conclusion, you get Devlin. He sneaks off and chases and changes into a police uniform. I started clapping for Devlin. I was like, this man's smart. He got the police uniform underneath. He hands a woman who we thought was one of the hostages a bag with the diamond in it and says, give this to Luca. As Matt is listening to all of this. Now we know he's working for the head of one of the 5 families from the previous episode, like I said, Luca. Dressed in his police uniform, he hopes to walk out incognito with the rest of the cops, but Matt follows him. He puts on one of the gang's red ski masks, and it's just like season 1 of Daredevil all over again. He does some serious damage. At first, you could tell he's a little bit rusty, and Devlin has the size advantage on him, but it's a brutal fight. Matt gets the upper hand by smashing his face into like a beer bottle. He may not be Daredevil yet, but somehow he found a way to be a red mask vigilante. You get him basically fighting off Devlin, smashes him in the face with that beer bottle that was on like one of the mailboxes, and then he pulls out probably the most vicious, brutal move of the entire season. As Devlin's standing there, he gives him a jumping thrust kick right to the knee, crushes his fucking knee. Oh my god, that was brutal. You hear the crack, and then he just kicks him right in the face. It goes unconscious, the screen goes black. Man, that was the only real fight scene of this whole episode, but it may have been the best of the season for me. I loved it. I just loved him brutally breaking this man's leg. That is Matt Murdock. That is Daredevil in a nutshell. Corey, what did you think about this fight scene?
Just everything from like the last point, like just one of my favorite parts again, just it's background stuff that you barely even notice the first watch through. But when he's walking around and he's trying to get out, he just grabs one of the robbers' heads and smashes against the wall and just walks away like nothing happened. It's like no one sees this blind dude just maim a dude right in front of him. But that fight scene, again, we got to see him use his walking stick as batons, which was awesome to see him do that. We saw just taking off the glasses like he's Superman was just, that popped the hell out. We just right down to taking it across his face like Superman would. Brilliant. But that fight scene, like you said, it's brutal. He's rusty. But again, Daredevil may have a code of he won't kill you, but he's going to make sure that you can't hurt anyone again, because that man is like never going to walk properly again. Like, I'm sorry, you do not come back from that, your leg looking like that. That is a compound fracture. Like, they would have to re-break your entire leg, I imagine, in that scenario. But just when you, like, we'd seen it in the trailer, but you just see what you don't see in the trailer is Matt clearly having the advantage at this point, and it's being completely unnecessary. He has him up against the wall already, stumbling over, and he's like, you know what this man needs? A jumping sidekick to the knee. Like, just brutal. I like that it's also, he has to get a little dirty with the bottle, because, like, as a superhero go, breaking a bottle over someone's head is pretty dirty. But again, just letting the devil out slowly but surely, as has been the case this entire season, and just like you said, just such an amazingly well done fight scene.
Chase, what about you?
Oh yeah, I love this fight scene. I love everything about this scene, especially where Devlin was like Hitman. He just had like a change of clothes ready to go, and then Matt was able to track him down, making sure he couldn't get out. And once he put on his hood, it was all over. I love the fight choreography in Daredevil. I do have complaints about the Muse fight. I'll talk about it when we get there, but I really love the choreography when they actually have these street level fights. It just feels so grounded. It's just fun. It's just fun to watch. And that shin breaker, like, look, I used to watch John Jones do that same kick, and everyone said that kick should be banned. He's gonna break someone's shin one day. And to see it happen, I'm like, because John Jones never did it. He was just doing it just so his opponent couldn't get near him. He wasn't doing it with his full force. Seeing it, now I know what these fans were complaining about for all these years. I was like, oh wow, I get it now. I get what these people were saying. I was just looking at it as like, oh no, John Jones is doing that move. Like, it doesn't really hurt people like that. Nope. Now I get it. I agree with these fans. 10 years later, and I was in the wrong. You guys are right, but thankfully John Jones doesn't fight anymore. So.
Elite reference. Yeah. I love that. I love that. But before we do move on, one thing we didn't cover. I want to always highlight these moments because I think they're some of the funniest moments in like superhero at all. But again, Matt, after keep in mind he smashed the dude's head in, walking up to the door like, oh, hello? Who's there?
Oh, yeah.
Who's there? When he's leaving the bank. And
the sanitation worker has to tell them, he's with us. He's with us. He's one of the hostages.
Thank you, sir. As he walks out as well. I love Charlie Cox in this role so much.
He plays it off so well. Meanwhile, you get Devlin's accomplice realizes that the diamond in her bag is nothing but the piece of candy that Yusuf offered Matt earlier in the episode. Then we go to, I guess, the next day where Matt meets Yusuf at the bank to basically check on him. He tells Matt that the stolen diamond never turned up. He invites Matt over for dinner to his home in Jersey City to brainstorm some other opportunities for them to basically get out of the situation that they're in, which Matt happily agrees to, as he's like, as long as it's with a trip to Jersey City. And so I guess that means we're going to get a Daredevil Miss Marvel crossover, because we all know from She-Hulk, Matt loves a family dinner. He loves a family dinner, loves being over for those situations. That's how he met Bruce Banner, and that's how he met Bruce Banner's son. So he's in for it. So as Matt gets up to leave, Yusuf realizes that in the bowl of the candies, because Matt takes a piece of the candy to basically bring his attention to the bowl, Matt has left a little gift for him, which is the missing diamond. So he looks up, he's like, oh shit. He's like, did he have it the whole time? And that's the end of episode 5 with interest. I love this episode. But Corey, what did you think about the final scene with Yusuf and Matt?
I've said it every time that any of these references come up or anything like that. Any world building, well, not really world building, establishing Daredevil is in the MCU and he's here to stay now. Like,
yeah,
I can't wait to see that. I imagine that might come I don't know if they're planning the second season of Miss Marvel. I don't know, or maybe in season 2 of Born Again. Either way, I'm looking forward to it. I like that in this episode, you see Matt kind of reveal himself, kind of expose himself, who his secret identity to someone, but he does it with someone who understands, let's say, who understands it. So when people will ask, well, why didn't Yusuf tell anyone? Well, because he knows what this whole superhero thing is like, and that's what that was. So I appreciated that fact that they used Yusuf in this way because when they announced that he was going to be in the show, I was kind of like, where are they going to really put him? I wasn't really sure where he would kind of pop up, but this was a really good way to use him, and I can't wait to see Miss Marvel and Matt kind of meet up, because I can just imagine Miss Marvel just being a ball of kind of excitement. Like, how far can you hear? What can you smell things? Can you smell what I'm wearing, or something like that? Just a ball of questions, like she was with Captain Marvel, and she just can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Chase, what about you?
Yeah, no, I loved overall this episode. Like I said, I'm breaking the scale when it comes to our grading, but this episode was great for just like Corey said, like, it's good to know Daredevil is going to be in future MCU projects. It's not just like, oh yeah, like let us be real, Tony Stark, you keeping tabs on everyone. You trying to tell me you didn't keep tabs on all these people in New York and stuff, and you weren't keeping tabs on when the Eternals were here and stuff? Like, you know these people. You just were like, this guy's useless. This guy's useless. Spider-Man, that guy. I can use a Spider-Man on my team. So, like, it's good to know, like, there's going to be some tabs being kept on Daredevil, and that Daredevil will be in whatever future projects that the Disney Plus does with these Marvel television shows. So I'm glad that he's established in the universe. I'm glad this was a more, like you said, bottled episode, grounded, just focused on Daredevil. Show us why we love the character Matt Murdock. Not just because he wears a costume. You know, there's so many people. They always like, oh, what? I remember, like, some of my friends complained season 1 of the original. He doesn't wear the costume. He doesn't wear the costume. Who cares? It's not about the guy in the costume. Mm-hmm. It's about the guy Matt Murdock himself. And Charlie Cox does a great job playing this character. And he reminded us, this is why we love Matt Murdock. Not just him being Daredevil, but the character Matt Murdock. That the not the alias he plays, not the vigilante he plays, Matt Murdock himself. So that's why I love it. It's just like, hey man, let's just focus on Matt. We don't have to always focus on the dude in the mask.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, perfect.
Man in the mask.
Yes, because that's been like one of the main complaints from fans is, oh, he hasn't put on the costume yet, hasn't put on the suit yet. This episode proved he doesn't need the suit. He doesn't need the suit to really be Daredevil.
Imagine a character arc where you build up to a superhero putting on a suit for the first time. It's almost like that's been done over and over and over and over and over again, and people still get mad when they do it again.
My days.
It's like, how many times do they have to do it before you get it?
Like, this is why Captain America in the comics, like, people liked him in the comics, but when his movies were first coming out, people were like, oh, I don't know, how's this going to do? Because Steve Rogers was a bland character outside of being Captain America. The movies did a much better job at making Steve Rogers seem more interesting, add a little bit more humor to him, and, you know, and stuff, but we fall in love with their actual human being side, not the fact that Peter Parker's Spider-Man. We love the fact that Peter Parker is like the has the worst life ever. This guy can't get anything right. This guy, this sucks being Peter Parker. He's on his like 5th girlfriend that's going to die next week. One of his girlfriends came back to life. It's like, geez, this guy can't catch a break. Like he found this new girl, and then all of a sudden Gwen's walking around, and what's going on here and stuff. So it's stuff that I like when you focus on the people behind the mask, and that's where we can get interest in them. Like that's the characters I like, not just because they wear a costume and stuff. Like I want to know more about the person behind the mask.
Yeah, that's what makes these characters great. Like Bruce Wayne, like your Peter Parker, like Matt Murdock. It's more of the duality of them being these superheroes, but also being very interesting people without the mask and the suit. So I like it, and that's why I love this episode. But let's give our grading for this episode before we move on to episode 6. So in the live chat, let us know who was your MVP for this episode, who was your LVP for this episode. Out of 10, what did you give episode 5 with interest, and whether you gave it a thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle. For me, Corey, and Chase, for episode 5 with interest in 3, 2, 1. Thumbs up across the board from all of us, and I'm just gonna start it off. 10 out of 10. I said it to Corey after I watched the episode. I was like, Corey gave episode 4 10 out of 10. I gave it an 8.5. This is a 10 out of 10 episode. It had nothing to do with the main plot, but it was Matt Murdock being Matt Murdock for 39 minutes, and I loved every minute of it. 10 out of 10 episode here. Corey, what did you give episode 5?
10 out of 10 again, and I think we can almost do away with the thumbs up, thumbs down thing at this point, because have we done a thumbs down yet? I don't think we have. I think because, like, again, this season has just been phenomenal. But one thing that I do want to say about this episode, as we said, this episode is from the original Born Again kind of recording. This wasn't spliced together or anything like that. It was a much more polished thing. It was clearly filmed the way it was. But this episode is so good. They fired the entire creative team and everything surrounding this. Imagine being the creative team and you're watching this and you're like, they didn't even change the thing. And then literally watching fans going crazy, like, this episode ruled. And they're just like, that was my thought process when you mentioned it earlier, Chase, because it's just like, it couldn't have been that bad. I like a lot of Born Again, like, as we say, I know it's all Born Again, but the more Born Again stuff that was originally filmed, it's all been decent stuff. Like, clearly a couple of characters are suffering. Like, Cherry hasn't been in it as much as I imagined he was originally supposed to be, because he's been kind of, I feel like we should, like, after he helped with the witness to the courthouse, we didn't really see much of him until episode 6. So I think he was a character that kind of suffered a lot. But yeah, this episode, I don't have any nitpicking at all. Nothing. I love that it reestablished who Matt is as a person more so than anything else. He's trying not to let the devil out and all this stuff and the other. He has the chance to walk away. He can walk away in that scenario and be guilt-free. He wasn't there. He'd already left. But he turns around, and that, again, that's what heroes are made of. That's what this whole universe that we love so much at this point, that has so many people watching Cheers being revealed on a weekend. That's the stuff. It's the nitty and gritty of what makes a superhero. So yeah, just MVP of the episode. I don't want to say Matt for every episode, so I'm going to say Yusuf. I loved Yusuf. And Devlin.
Well, yeah, Devlin was great. Devlin was great out of the Bank Robbers. Chase, what did you give the episode out of 10?
10.5 out of 10. This was a phenomenal street level superhero episode. I will go back and watch this episode whenever I'm bored. Like, if I'm just like, oh man, I want to rewatch an episode, bam, I'll just rewatch this episode over and over again. It'll be a nice 39-minute. Oh, if I need to kill time for something and there's nothing else for me to watch, I could easily go back to this episode. It's 39 minutes. It'll kill whatever time I need to do, and I'll still be entertained. I love how, like, TV shows do bank robbery stuff better than movies. Like they'll make whole movies about bank robberies and stuff, and then they're just so boring. They suck. They have some side plot I don't care about. Oh, it turns out one of the Doug's ex-wife is one of the hostages or something, or whatever the case is. Daredevil, straight to the point. And I'm a sucker for bank robberies. Like I love any bank robbery type of movie scheme or anything. And plus the stealth. I love the stealth aspect of it. They gotta be quiet. Matt has to assess the situation. There's people, other innocent people involved. These guys have automatics. Matt just has his cane. He can't beat all these guys with just his cane. Like, come on, man. So I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. MVP's Matt, easily. LVP, man, it's kind of hard to find an LVP this episode. I'm being honest. I would have to give it to one of the Irish thugs just for being useless. Like, but other than that, I can't really.
I was gonna say that. I was like, my MVP is also Matt for sure. Matt 100%. But the LVP is every bank robber except for Devlin.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. His leg kind of looked like an L.
I mean, he was the loser in the end, but he was the most entertaining out of the bank robbers.
Yeah, no, like because I guess the inside, the girl on the inside, she kind of was not stealthy with this. She kind of even mentioned like when the guy was talking about the puck that he had, she mentioned about some gem that had $1.5 million in value and stuff. So like kind of already tipped Matt off. So she kind of was an L in that one. She didn't have to talk in this one. So.
Yeah.
I kind of wish we got a moment with like we kind of get those moments with Spider-Man where like he in this kind of scenario, if he missed someone, you'd kind of get like a quick scene where he like webbed them up and left them hanging for cops or something. I don't know what the Daredevil equivalent would that be, but I would have liked to see, like, I guess it'd be a jump scare, wouldn't it? Because what Matt is like when he's in the mask, he'd be like just she turns around and bah, that's basically it. But I would have liked to see that, but like again, it's kind of like, I feel like that character is going to be what ties it together with a later episode. I don't think we've seen the last of her because she doesn't get arrested. She doesn't get caught. No. Matt knows who she is, though. So if she does come back again, Matt's going to notice.
Yeah. He's gonna peep, or he's gonna go into listening mode. He listen to her heartbeat and everything. We got Power Driver Finisher. He says it's being born again each and every episode. It's a rebirth marathon. We got Dion Jenkins, who says I think season 2 will be better because you can see the scenes of the old version of this season matched together with the rewrites. But I still like the show regardless. Yeah. I've seen one of my friends who was just like, it's not hitting for him as much as like the Netflix series, and I was like, yeah, it doesn't have the same gritty feel of the Netflix series, but I feel like this episode was the closest to what they had originally. This was the closest to the Netflix series. This was a little bit of that gritty flow. The flow was a little bit more fast paced than even the Netflix series. It was more akin to like season 3 more than like season 1 of the Netflix series. But we got also in the chat here, we got MVP from Vala B is Matt and Yusuf. He gives it a 9 out of 10. We got Greg Carter II, who gives it a 9 out of 10 as well. MVP Matt. LVP Broken Leg. That is a good point. We also got Fire Driver Finisher, who gives it a 10 out of 10 as well. So some good scores all around. The lowest anybody gave it was a 9 out of 10. So that's a great episode. But then we got to talk about episode 6, which is Excessive Force. This is the one that Corey enjoyed more. We open with more BB reports, which I will say, this is one part of this series I'm not really feeling because I am from New York. And these people do not talk like New Yorkers at all. It's so unrealistic.
This feels like California. Like when you hear these people talk, I'm like, these guys are from California. This is not New York to me.
There was one guy, the guy with the fedora, who kind of sounded like he was kind of from New York. He was kind of the older guy. He had the fedora on. He had a big trench coat. He's like, if I could do it, I'd do it. That guy for me, as someone who's like, obviously, I'm Irish. my experience is literally just in cinema, basically, and in TV shows. But still, he sounded like what I've seen before. So yeah, the BB report was fun in like the first episode. It was kind of like oh, this is kind of cool niche thing to cut away from. But I feel like they've kind of overstepped a smidge with. We already know who BB is. We know she's gonna be really annoying for Fisk. We've established this. I think she's gonna become an important character, but yeah, this is a bit much.
I was like, we didn't need to open this episode with that. That's what I was like, okay, we might have jumped the shark with this. So we get some candid interviews with a New York graffiti artist who talks about getting a bad rap in the wake of the Muses art all over the city's buildings. Another guy talks about how a friend of his was caught a new vigilante saving people using a sword. Earning him the nickname the Swordsman, and I was like, "Let's go, Hawkeye!" I remember this reference. I remember that reference too. Marvel Comics fans may know that back in the 70s there was an Avenger named the Swordsman who also became a villain as well. Actually, in the comics, they married Mantis from Guardians of the Galaxy, so I did get that in my notes as well. More on him later in this episode. Near a rundown part of the docks, a sanitation worker finds the body of the young man with his eyes gouged out that we saw from episode 4, with blood dripping out of each of his socket as if painted on. The latest masterpiece from the graffiti artist and mass serial killer called the Muse. But what did you think about the BB report revealing that Swordsman is a part of the Daredevil universe as well? I'll start with you, Chase.
I was fine with it. I mean, the BB report, I'll be honest, I was on my phone. I was like, oh, we're kicking off with this? Awesome. I can be on my phone for a second. Halfway paid attention. I heard Swordsman. I'm like, oh, and stuff. And then I totally forgot it was Hawkeye's character. So I thought it was the one dude at the end of Eternals where he grabbed the sword from the movie. He grabbed Excalibur, and then Blade was like, "You don't want to touch that." But we'll never find out what happens to that because I guess Blade is dead. Like, rest in peace and stuff. But we'll never know what happened to that. But yeah, good stuff. I don't know. Is Hawkeye going to appear maybe in season 2-ish or something? Who knows? We'll find out. What? Can you just tell me what year this is taking place? I need to know. I'm so like, is this post-snap? Is it pre-snap? Is it during the snap?
It's post. It's post-snap.
It's definitely post. Yeah.
It's supposed to be the beginning of 2027.
What is this before?
Timeline
Doctor
is so old.
Do you think is this before Doctor Strange opens up the multiverse of madness, or is this like after?
It should be after.
Dude, the timeline is so all over the place. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I need to. Hopefully, there's someone that made a 3-hour YouTube video of like the complete original Marvel timeline, MCU timeline, and they can just break it down for me.
The reason we know it's 2027 is because the producer came out and said, "Yeah, it's happening in 2027."
Okay,
that's
2027.
But people were like doing the math, and they were like, they had to. People did the math, and they were like, they lined up the timeline. It works, but also it's a little bit pushing it because of the year time gap. But it's still it just means that it's going to be condensed into less time going forward, I think.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
screw the
I
time
just
stone.
know
It ruined everything, bro.
Yeah, I saw that in a video that the producer said it was 2027 based on everything that happens. The prologue, the episode 1 first scene is 2025. It's the fall winter of 2025. So then when they go 1 year or later, it's the end of 2026, and then we get the episode where it's New Year's Eve, so that means it's 2027.
Gotcha.
She-Hulk happened before Foggy died. I know that's the big thing that people are like.
Okay.
There's no way this dude showed up this happy with a golden red suit after his best friend died. This was well done this time. But one thing that I just want to say about the Swordsman is Jack was one of my favorite parts of Hawkeye. Outside of the two titular characters and outside of Fisk being revealed as the big bad in the end, I really like Jack. I thought he was really funny. I liked the way that they went with, oh, he might be evil. No, he's not, because like Jay said, he was both good and bad. Or no, did you say SP3? Sorry,
Yeah,
I'm all over.
SP3 said that. I forgot about him, to be honest.
But yeah, just seeing him like just like in Hawkeye, you saw like his sword, like everything to do with it. So we've got the background on this vigilante already. So I think we're going to keep seeing more vigilantes later throughout the rest of the season. And I think that's how they're going to use the BB report to establish them for next season. So I think that might be where we're going with that.
So in his apartment, we see Matt is praying while holding Foggy's funeral card, dwelling on his recent losses. Not only is he thinking about Foggy, he's also thinking about Hector Ayala. He's also thinking about how good it felt to put a mask on and kick some bad guy's ass. And you can't help but wonder if he's really asking God's help in keeping his promise to not return to being Daredevil, or is he looking for basically like the guidance to go back to being Daredevil? Heather Glenn, his girlfriend, seems genuinely surprised Matt still prays, and he tells her that while he's given it up before, he always comes back to his Catholic faith. She tells him that she's working on a new book exploring the psychology of vigilantes, why we fear the mask. She tries to get Matt's insight on it, knowing that he's represented the Punisher before. He represented White Tiger. He's done work with Daredevil, quote unquote, before. One of those he knows extremely well. For obvious reasons, Matt doesn't seem too keen on the whole thing, but it really felt like she was like poking. It felt like a poking because Matt seemed so tense talking about it, so it felt like trying to poke the devil out. And I love how this was shot, because it was shot at the same time we saw Fisk for the first time since episode 4 at the mayor's office. Wilson Fisk has his unscheduled visitor, and it's Luca in his office, the head of one of the 5 families. He isn't happy having to pay the 1.8 million to a rival mafia family, especially after his bank robbery went awry. He never got that diamond as well from the last episode. All of this is to pay restitution for the killing at Red Hook. And Fisk reminds him he must follow orders. Luca tells Fisk that he can shove that 1.8 up his ass. Fisk informs him that 1.8 has now turned into 2.8 million. He says the 1.8 goes to the fellow mafia boss Victor, and the rest goes to him directly. Luca spits out, "You're out of the game, old man. Stay out of it." This clearly gets very under Wilson's skin a big time, and he's ready to pop. But the mayor is giving him way to the mob boss inside of him. So I love how it was shot like simultaneously, because it felt like Heather was kind of poking Matt to bring out the devil. At the same time, Luca was poking Fisk to bring the Kingpin out, as my daughter hits me with the door.
She was trying to get in there. Wow.
Trying to bring the devil out of me. Corey, what did you think about these two scenes simultaneously?
I thought it was really well done, like you said, that the parallel, like I think you said that it's kind of the A plot and the B plot for Fisk and Matt, but I think they're both the A plot. I think that's been the kind of the whole thing with Born Again up until the 5th episode, which is very much a Matt episode. I very much liked how when she asked about the Punisher, Matt was just so dismissive of it. He was like, "Yeah, that's a great idea," because he knows damn well.
The Punisher?
It doesn't even sound like he's like worried about her safety. It's more like, yeah, Frank will go for that. That's basically his thought process. And then she mentions Daredevil. And it's like, what? he just freezes up. And he's like, what? Yeah, kind of. I guess so. But yeah,
he's very recoiled.
And then with Fisk, it was just like it's really become so. I guess it's a cliche at this point. You're out of the game, old man. Stay out of it. How many times have we heard that over the years? How many basically corpses have we heard say that? It's basically like saying, "I'm gonna die for pushing the bear thanks. That's basically what that line is. But yeah, I loved it. Again, the parallels between the two are just so good. It's always been kind of a Daredevil and Wilson Fisk show, even when Fisk wasn't the big bad in season 2. He was still so integral to the plot that I feel he's the main character. He is the main character along with Matt. So again, just this whole episode had a lot of that, and later a scene that I cannot wait to talk about. But yeah.
So Chase, what did you think about the opening scene, the simultaneous between Wilson and Matt?
Oh, I enjoyed it. This was really good. If my girlfriend asked me to go meet the Punisher, I'd say, sure, go right ahead, go meet Frank Castle. It's your funeral. You want to be that psycho? Go right ahead. I'm not going to stop you. It's all right. You can go talk to Frank Castle, see what happens. Either will be really nice to you or will put a cap in you. It's either or. Who knows? I mean, she's a woman. You might have a better chance. Frank probably will have sympathy with her and stuff, so she has a chance to talk to Frank. But I loved it, especially because what it set up for the end of the episode. It was kind of like the bears were being poked. And then at the end of the episode, we saw what happens when they finally went unleashed, and the way they paralleled those scenes too. So I thought it was a great tease. It was a nice little tease of saying, because like when I saw this, I was like, oh, shit's going down this episode. Like I didn't know Fisk shit was going to go down. I knew Daredevil was going to get in some action, but I didn't know Fisk was going to get in some action. I was like, oh man, so great stuff.
So the next morning, a New York City sanitation worker who has been tasked with getting rid of Muse's various murals around the city reveals that after a chemical analysis, took him so long to reveal this, he discovered that the paint was so stubborn to come off because it's made partially from human blood. And I love the fact that it's the same sanitation worker that was in the bank, that was part of the hostages, that was the one that told the cops that Matt was one of them when Matt faked the head injury. Fisk now realizes that there's a serial killer at large, and he has to be the one to take care of it. He adamantly doesn't want the police to reveal there's a killer on the loose, mainly because it makes him look bad, even though alerting the public could literally save lives. Once again, Fisk is only thinking about himself and how he looks, and it turns back that there's going to be more people dying because of it. Meanwhile, you get back at Matt's law firm. White Tiger's niece comes and meets with him at the Murdoch and Duffy. Angela comes to see Matt, and Angela informs Matt that her uncle was investigating missing people and died before he could find them. She tells Matt that someone needs to finish her uncle's investigation. She pieces together that the missing people vanished near the old Q line, which was shut down years earlier. Matt says that he's just a lawyer. That's a lie. She needs to go to the police for help. Angela reminds him that the police killed her uncle, and she's never going to them for help ever again. When Matt asks, what do you want me to do about it? Angela retorts, how about literally anything? She leaves Matt's office, realizing that she's on her own. This is one more punch to the gut for Matt, who knows that as Daredevil, he absolutely can do something about it, but he has chosen not to. So, love the two little conflicts. Like, it was very much. This was very much like not like the usual episodes too, where it's always like, okay, we're gonna go here with Matt, we're gonna go here with Kingpin, like you were saying earlier, Corey. This was the most episode where it felt like they're both main characters and they both have the same conflict going on, because we would find out that this is one and the same. The serial killer is Muse, and he's the threat to both Wilson and Matt here. What did you think about the whole setup of that conflict, Corey?
I think one thing that we said last week, SP3, was the fact that if Muse is going to have to catch both of their attention somehow, it's going to have to be something. Either he's going to get personal, or he's going to drop so many bodies that they both pay attention. And we actually kind of got a bit of both in this episode, with it kind of later on anyway. But at first they're like, oh, it's at least 60 people dead. Like
I was like they Goldberg his number.
They were just like 60 people. It's like
And the house shows count.
60 people. Yeah, that'd be about enough to get the mayor and the vigilantes' attention. That'll do. But yeah, again, and I have to say, the Ayala girl's actress is phenomenal. She is fantastic in this role. She comes across like her age, like she's just angry at the world, which is what she is. And I think that was a comment that I was actually having a look at, because I don't think that's what was going on with her. I just don't think she has anyone else she can turn to. Matt is the only person who's kind of been there for her, who was there for her uncle. While she's still angry at him, it does trust him to a degree. But yeah, just the way Matt kind of is just like trying his best to do what he can as a lawyer, and realizing, like you said, that he to really help, he has to be Daredevil, but not wanting to. And again, just the parallels just keep coming, and it's just building to the big moment at the end of the episode.
Chase, what did you think about this setup here with Angela meeting with Matt, as well as the cops meeting with Wilson, and also Goldberging Muse's number count? And we got another Angie Kim appearance in this episode as well.
She was just standing there doing nothing. I loved Fisk, just like in his own head, not listening to what these cops are saying, just laughing like a maniac.
Yes.
And he goes, I have the idea. I have the solution. And it's like, oh my God, like you weren't listening to what these guys were saying at all. He's like, we must make a task force. Might not be the cleanest, but it will get the job done and stuff. And then he hires all these old crooked cops to like get these vigilantes off the street. I love how Fisk is just like, nah, I tried to do it the city's way. I'm going to do it my way now. So he was not paying attention to anything. He just snapped, went back to, who he is, the Kingpin. The lawyer scene, I wasn't like with them where I was like, why is she going to the lawyer and stuff? I feel like this is something where it's like, I don't know if like they didn't rewrite this scene or something, but it like to me, when like it feels like she knows more about Matt than let on. Like I feel like we're missing something. Like she knows that Matt's Daredevil or something. Because like I'm like, why is she going to him like right off the rip? Like there has to be something she knows. And then Sherry, like Sherry hasn't been built up enough to know Matt, where he's like, don't do like. You should know. You don't tell Matt not to do it. He's going to do it. You tell Matt not to do it. He's just going to do it. You know this by now. So I feel like for Sherry's character and just for the niece, she did a great job acting for sure. I was just like, there's something missing here. Because like, how does Sherry know like not to tell Matt, not like pushing Matt, trying to get Matt to go away? Because Matt is capable. Matt has this down. Like, why are you worried about this? Did we talk about those two dumb women who went up to me?
Oh, we're about to get into
that scene. I was like,
right out of a comic. Right out of the comics. So good.
Yeah. It was right out of one of the old Batman and Batman movies in the 90s. That's the exact scene that would happen. Someone come up to Joker and he just yokes them up. I was gonna say that next, where police chief Gallo informs Mayor Fisk that the DNA profile show that Muse's paint involves at least 60 different victims. This constitutes a major failure on the part of the mayor's office and his promise to keep the city safe. That night, two female fans approach Muse as he paints another mural, and he attacks and kills both women, gouging their eyes out. He leaves their bodies for the police to find. Knowing that his art has caught the attention of the authorities, he's now flaunting it and making it a part of his murals that he's putting out there. So Fisk realizes that this is like a bigger deal than it was originally supposed to be. But that goes in line with what Fisk is really doing in this episode, which Wilson informs. First, he informs Vanessa that Luca came to visit him in his office, showing him disrespect. The whole thing is an emasculating reminder that his wife was better at being a criminal kingpin than he ever was. Later at the fundraising gala, you would think that this would be Fisk's kind of forte, but Vanessa's better at this too. Fisk meets with with many of the old money families of New York, whom he needs their financial support for his redevelopment plans for Red Hook. Among the attendees is Jack Dusain, who is the swordsman from Hawkeye, and he was Kate Bishop's mother's rich boyfriend. Now we know since the events of that series, he's continued being a vigilante. He makes vague threats to Fisk at the party, suggesting that without the elites and their money, he's nothing. Another blow to Wilson's fragile ego, as we know he's a child and a monster. And then we go to Matt, where Cherry informs him, like Chase was saying, tells him that although it's not public knowledge yet, there's a new serial killer in the city. In fact, it's a murderer who with as many as 60 victims. Cherry tries to beg Matt to let this one go and let the police handle it, but Matt knows he can't see idly by while all the innocents are dying, and he knows the police ain't gonna do shit about it either. That night at the mayor's party, Daniel Blake pulls Fisk aside and shows him the bodies of the two new Muse victims, and Muse left them right under one of his art pieces, taunting the police, who he now knows are onto him. And then back at the mayor's office, he meets with police chief Gallo the next day, and Gallo begs Fisk for more officers to take down Muse, since he's cut overtime to kind of get at Gallo. And basically instead, Fisk tells him, like Chase was saying, he's put together a special task force made up of cops hand selected by him. The chief realizes that every cop in the task force that Wilson wants is corrupt, or at least the very least has major discipline issues. Fisk offers to oversee the task force personally. It's a personal to me. And the next morning he meets with them. He tells them that they are now founding members of the anti-vigilante task force. Muse is not a vigilante, sir. He's a serial killer.
So
you're a coward. It doesn't matter to me. He's a vigilante, just like all of them.
The city is yours now. You have been put aside. He riles them up, essentially giving them champ blanc, and giving them immunity to act outside the law to find Muse. So that's the set up for his anti-vigilante task force. I knew eventually this was gonna happen, but I just was mind blown that he used a serial killer wearing a mask as a vigilante. That's Wilson Fisk for you.
Gotta push his agenda.
Yep, it's his agenda. It's exactly that. It's his agenda. He's seen an opportunity to villainize someone in a mask, and that dude took it. He took that ball and he ran with it to the end zone there.
He did. I was dumbfounded by it, but it's just like, oh, that's Kingpin. That's Kingpin for you. Yeah. And Cole North, the murderer, that was one of the part of the task force. He's another one that's a comic book character. You're familiar with him, Chase?
No, not too familiar. I know the name, but if you ask me, because I haven't touched up on my Daredevil comics lately, I would totally forget. If you give me like a little backstory, I'd be like, oh yeah, he did this and stuff, but I haven't touched up. But yeah, I know of the name. Like it's a big name character for sure. Well, big name in Daredevil, not big name overall. He's not like so. Doesn't help the Avengers fight the X-Men or something.
What about you, Corey?
Not really. I saw a lot of people get hyped about, and I saw some comic panels of him. I don't know a lot about the character. I know you can see that he's clearly going to be one of the integral parts of the task force based on these scenes, anyway. Yeah.
We got a couple of comments here. Project Finisher says vigilantes are criminals to him, so Fisk doesn't see the difference. We also got Dustin who says no body cam. As a black man, to hear that made me so worried. Absolutely, I was like, no body cam. I was like, they just gonna be murking anyone. Oh Jesus!
No cosplaying as these vigilantes, boys. You got to New York Comic Con. You guys are fucked.
I just love that Muse is basically like every other serial killer in history ever. Like no one was paying attention to him. He's like, all right, I'm just gonna leave this body at the dump or the docks, whatever. Okay, that's got their attention. Now they know who I am. Okay, now I'm gonna leave two bodies right beside one of my murals. Like he's been doing these murals since the start of the season. So since when Fisk was put as mayor, so at least that long. So just I think I found that very interesting that they went with that kind of serial killer like tidbit of like he was kind of getting sick of doing it to no attention basically. So I like that.
He's like, now I got your attention. Now I'm just gonna flaunt it. I'm just taunting you at this point. Dustin says Cole is the head guy of the vigilante act. We also saw Officer Powell, who was one of the policemen that Daredevil that Matt beat up in episode 2. The devil. Go ahead, Corey.
I have a theory about him. I think I don't know what he does in the comics, but the way that they've portrayed his character makes me think he's going to have a redemption moment. Either he's going to die and be redeemed, or he's going to redeem himself in some way. I don't know. Just the fact that he's kind of like that speech that he gave to Matt in the courthouse, and the fact that his heart rate didn't go up at all. That's important, not just because it revealed he didn't kill Hector Ayala. It's just it says to his character. And throughout the scene, he was kind of looking at Cole every now and again, kind of like, is this guy serious? He doesn't seem to be 100% on board with the task force either. And I think that we've seen some more trailer footage of what looks like the task force going after Frank Castle later on. And let's just say it doesn't look like it ends well. So maybe that might be the catalyst there. But yeah, just I think that he's more important than people like to think, and I think that might be why he didn't end up in a wheelchair after Matt beat his ass more than anything else.
I can see that. I think I have a theory. I think Cole is the one that killed Hector.
Good one. That's a good shout. Because we never saw the face. We never even saw a piece of skin or anything. So we have no idea who it is.
We know Frank didn't do it. He was like, he was all drunk saying, "What are you talking about?" Come on, Frank.
Yeah, I think
they have your symbol. Why are you lighting him up? Like, out of all the people you want to light up, Daredevil, you want to light up Frank. You're lucky that Frank somewhat tolerates you, that he doesn't just kill you right off the spot.
Doesn't have time for this.
I like you, Red. I like you.
Yeah. He doesn't have time for this candy ass hero shit. He said this already.
So
such a good line, man.
At the old train tracks, Angela goes searching for the killer, not even realizing it's Muse, as Matt does research on the abandoned train tracks online at his home. Angela's aunt calls him, and she tells him that Angela has gone missing, and not knowing where else to turn because the last person that she said she was going to go see was him. Matt struggles with what to do next. He first calls 911 before hanging up and saying, "Fuck it." He throws the devil horn on Foggy's memorial card. He gets the Daredevil costume out at last, and he heads to the train tracks where Angela went missing. Muse has already caught her and takes her unconscious body to his lair. I want to know why they didn't show the scene of Muse actually catching her. Do they not? Because it's a Disney product. They don't want to show any abuse towards kids or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. But then you're showing him taking the blood out of her body. So I was like, what's the difference here?
Yeah, this is like some Dexter shit that you're showing, like him like putting the blood in and it's getting drained and stuff like that. Like, yeah, I don't understand. Like, she just automatically is like, oh, she got caught. Like, how?
Yeah, I was like, it felt like we were missing a scene. Like, this is a deleted scene that we didn't see.
And she was knocked out. Like, she was dead asleep, man. Like what did he do? Did he put like what Dexter used to do, put some ketadine in there and she got tranquilized and fell asleep? Or like, because there's no way I believe that like she got hit. Because like the minute she gets stabbed, she would wake up like immediately. I was like, we're missing something here.
Yeah. He lays her out on a table in his lair, and we see the hanging bodies of several of his other victims. He begins to drain Angela's body of blood. Not long after, Muse hears something approaching. He sees a train go by that has a red light behind him, and he doesn't even realize that he has the motherfucker running up on him. Daredevil comes out of the shadows, and he starts giving him the business. I was like, no one can take the Matt hands. Only Elektra and Stick can handle the hands of Matt. He's still a little rusty at the vigilante game, though. Muse holds his own for a bit. I was like, this is definitely a body double. It's not the same actor that we saw in that went to Heather. It was like, this is not the same person. Whoever this serial killer really is, he's clearly well trained in fighting. If he can keep up with Daredevil, especially. This fight happens while Angela is slowly bled to death. He's listening to Matt's listening to her heart rate. Matt finally chokes Muse long enough using the batons, hanging him there until he passes out, just as Angela's heart stops beating. He chooses to let him go, and he goes to revive Angela, despite knowing that Muse will kill others now that he's escaped, but he can't allow himself to let Angela die. All the while that's going on, we're seeing simultaneously, while the devil has come out of Matt, Wilson Fisk is becoming the Kingpin once again. Fisk goes down to his basement where he has Vanessa's lover Adam locked up. He comes down with an axe, and he gives us basically a Shining scene where Wilson says that he thinks Vanessa would want him to let Adam go. Adam starts thanking him way before. He didn't say he was going to let you go. He says that he want him to let him go, but he doesn't think he can. He throws Adam the axe, giving him a chance to defend himself. In a rage, Adam attacks Fisk with the axe, but the mayor easily overpowers him. He even at one point yells, "Mine!" Yo, he's such a big baby. Fisk throws Adam around the room, pummels him right in front of his beloved painting rabbit in a snowstorm, which he says mine, which we assume is a reference to Vanessa. At the same time, a few miles apart, both Fisk and Murdoch give in to their true selves. Fisk is a brutal, territorial monster, while Matt is the heroic yet petrily rage-filled man. So it's just this great, like, simultaneous scene. It's a great follow-up for the foreshadowing that we saw at the beginning of the episode of the bears being poked, and then the bear comes out, and it's just a roar with the two fight scenes simultaneously. This is also one of the best scenes of the whole entire series so far. Corey, I know you were very much into the Daredevil versus Muse, but what do you think about them basically splitting between Matt's fight and Fisk's fight at the same time?
Just a complete, like, again, a testament to the two characters and their goals and what drives them and so on. For Matt, he gives in for the sake of it, and it's something that's a character trait. Every time there's a child in trouble, more than anything else, Matt is there so quickly. He's always there, mainly because I imagine because of his own history as an orphan himself. So I thought that it's obviously not the first time Kingpin's beat Adam's ass. We've seen his knuckles enough to know that he's been wailing on him already. But someone pointed out that maybe it was the first time he gave Adam a weapon. And let him out. So yeah, good theory there. Everything from the moment that Matt said fuck it is just everything past that point, it just flies by. I don't know how long it is from that moment, but it's just brilliant. The Muse and Daredevil fight is some of the best choreography I've seen in a fight scene since the original Daredevil. Like, that's how good it was. Muse being able to fight was awesome to find out with the knives. Just how quick he was with the knives was cool. Being able to do all those kicks. And there was a kick that Matt throws at one point. He steps up onto the step, and then he does a flipping side kick. And I'm just like, this is exactly the kind of shit I want to see Daredevil be doing. I want this man jumping around the place like a lunatic. Yeah, and one more thing I do want to say before I throw it over to Chase. The score in this scene. Yeah. Oh my God. Just the Rock forearms moment, goosebumps. Like, just the moment, and again, Muse's comic accurate look as well being used with the train to make it look like he has red eyes. Then you see him coming, like you said, coming like a bat out of hell, running down. I could talk about this scene forever. It's just peak Daredevil for me, and just amazing.
Yes, 10 out of 10 scene for sure. Jason, what did you think about the final fight scenes between Fist and Adam and Muse and Daredevil?
I like the Daredevil Muse fight, but I blame the editors because they, oh my god, there are so many missed punches, so many missed kicks. I was just like, how did you guys not catch this? Send these two back to Performance Center. What is this? What is that? Like, great choreography. But they were like, there was 3 punches. Daredevil literally hits air. Muse is going backwards. Dustin mentioned it. Sound of the impact. You couldn't even hear any of the sound of the impact. He missed one of the kicks, and Muse flies back. Like I'm like, who edited this? Like, come on. This is such a good scene, and you're just ruining it because you just can't edit it tighter enough. Like I had to rewatch it a second time because I thought maybe I was just tired. So I rewatched that fight scene in the morning. I was just like, nope, I wasn't tired. They literally just edited the scene so weird. The Fist scene, I don't know what happened. They edited that one perfectly. I didn't see any flawed punches. Yeah. Fist was brutal. I hope Vanessa never reveals her body count to Fisk, because then Fisk is gonna go out for every guy. He was. This was like some 10th grade high schooler. You touch my girl. You can't have what's mine. Vanessa, the fact that you shared that same passionate moment that we had. It's like, oh my god, Jesus! Like my girlfriend.
We have shared experiences.
Yeah,
that's what he said.
Like you shared that same experience that I shared, and he was all upset. Though I love the weapon line, giving Adam a chance, and you're like, oh, this guy has no chance whatsoever. And pleading to how Fist became so powerful. He was a fat little kid that challenged all the big kids. And he learned that weapons could be an equalizer for him. But ultimately, Fisk was able to drop the weapons and just use his fist. I love when they would cut back. They would show Daredevil doing something brutal and then cut back to Fisk, and he's doing something even more worse. And I'm like, holy shit, Adam is dead. Like, this guy is not alive. While Daredevil, he's a little bit more tamed. He's not trying to, like, legit kill Muse. He's just trying to restrain him enough. They would show Daredevil doing something, and then Fisk is throwing Adam through a table, punching him to the thing. Like, Daredevil has him against the wall. Bam, bam. Fisk is like, bah, bah, bah. Like, just making sure this guy can't even breathe. Excellent stuff here. Muse getting away, that's fine. You gotta keep him around and stuff. But I'm like, yeah, Fisk killed this guy. No way. If Adam's alive, I'm gonna have questions. I would be like, there's no way.
He was breathing. He was breathing at the end.
Breathing at the end. Yeah. And Fisk not be able to walk. Fisk even hit him with his finisher, which is the double axe handle to the chest, which he hit him in Spider-Verse. Like when he seen that, I was like, Spider-Verse.
Yeah, he does that.
I understand that reference.
PS4 game too. He does that in the Spider-Man PS4 game too. Like in that tutorial fight, if you don't know how to press circle, you're screwed. He just suplexes you, do all these wrestling moves on you. But yeah, no, I absolutely enjoyed this final scene. But oh my god, I hope someone messaged Disney and they're like, yeah, let's just add in these scenes where they actually look like the punches are hitting, because I was just like, oh my goodness, he's like, what are we doing? Come on, you guys have all this money and budget, you can't tighten this up. And plus my brother, he's an editor, so he would not shut up about this. So when my brother says it, it's just in my head. It's just like, I can't watch certain movies with my brother because he will just be like, oh, it's so ruined. The green screen. I know they did a horrible job. And I'm like, oh my gosh, shut up. I don't care.
Gotta love that. But yeah, I just love how this was shot with the simultaneous fight scene, and just these two men are trying to hide who they are, but the mask came on for Daredevil and the mask came down for Kingpin. That was just a great ending to this episode here. So that brings us to a close on episode 6, Excessive Force. So everyone in the chat, y'all know the deal. Y'all know what to do. Let us know your MVP of this episode, your LVP, whether you gave it a thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle, and out of 10, what did you give the show? I won't even do the countdown. This is getting a thumbs up, right? Thumbs up across the board.
Easy thumbs up.
Easy thumbs up. Out of 10, I will give this one a 9 out of 10. This was a 9 out of 10 for me. We got the suit back. The Daredevil suit was back. You had that great foreshadowing with the first scene into what happened on the last scene, and then everything in between built to it, where they made this threat of Muse to both guys at the same time. And you see the hero who goes after Muse, and then you see the villain who just uses it for his own means. So I love how the juxtaposition in how Matt and Fisk were basically treated Muse as a threat. Corey, what about you?
10 out of 10 again. Just I get what Chase is saying about the editing. I guess I was blinded by hype initially. I will admit that. But again, just seeing him back in the suit, we got one thing that you didn't mention is we got a Daredevil Primal Scream again, which is always epic. Yeah. And someone pointed out, and I want to mention this because I actually think it's a really good theory. The reason why Matt does that so much is because he's bouncing sound off the walls, so he knows more with his radar sense. I think that's a good theory. I really would like to see that become canon, but just Muse, I think Muse went from everyone kind of being like, oh, Daredevil's just going to kick his ass and that's going to be it, to then Muse being able to hold his own and being that quick with a knife and all stuff like that. I think Muse, this was Muse's episode just as much as the other two, which again, very well done, very well shot. Yeah, I just can't say enough good things about this episode. I loved it.
Chase, what about you? What'd you give this one?
I'll be the middleman. 9.5 out of 10. I love when they just tap into both Daredevil and Kingpin. Like that, they're the two driving forces of the show. They're the reason why I love Daredevil so much. So 9.5 out of 10 for both of these guys, just because both these guys' characters just went to that next level, and I love it.
So my MVP for this episode, it's tough. It's between Matt and Muse, because I can't give it to Kingpin, because Kingpin did take some L's in this episode. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I think because I don't want to have the same MVP in both episodes, I'm actually going to give it to Muse, which I'm very surprised at, because I was like, I don't really know about him as the villain here, but he really stepped up in the villain department in this episode. Chase, who was your MVP?
Oh yeah, I'm with you. I think Muse was the MVP. He got put over strong this episode. Like this was definitely like a good episode for people like that were like, oh what? No way, this guy. And it's just like, nah, like he showed he could fight with Daredevil. He ended up escaping. We know what this guy is capable of. I mean, he's already killed 60 people. Like this guy is all, and probably by next episode he'll kill 35 people at this point because he got away. So who knows? So like it just seems like it's upticking every episode. But yeah, no, Muse definitely was the MVP because established such a great threat. Like a reason why Matt should put on the costume. There is a guy that Daredevil will have to put on the costume, and you know that's going to piss off Kingpin. So Kingpin's going to be pissed because he's not staying in his lane. You're supposed to stay in your lane, Murdoch.
Oh, Corey, what about you?
MVP for the wrong reasons. Every dirty cop in New York probably just got the best time of their life.
Yeah.
You know what? That's a good point too.
Daredevil's back. Muse is around. Seems like a pretty good time to be a dirty cop. You're going to get to do whatever the fuck you want to do, basically. But on a serious note, Muse again, just what a like. I don't. Again, we kind of said last week, we were kind of like, are they going to show his powers? Is he going to have powers? Is this, that, and the other? No, the dude can just fight. That's basically what it is. It's like he has no powers; he can just fight. Well, we don't know that for sure, but LVP, it's got to be Fisk. Fisk just looked very weak throughout this episode, and then has, like you said, a child's tantrum over. Like at the end of it, it's a great scene, but Jesus, man, go back to Heather and talk about your fucking issues, please.
I tried that; it didn't work. My way works.
Yeah, it's funny because we had the one fight scene where I said it was between Matt and Muse for MVP. The LVP is between Fisk and Adam for me. Like I'm gonna probably agree with Corey. I'll give it to Fisk because he did not look strong in his mayor role. and he used a serial killer as a way to go after vigilante. I am sorry. That is it. Like I went in on Matt being unethical in episode 3. I gotta go in on Fisk being unethical as fuck in his mayor position. Chase, who's your LVP?
Yeah, I hate to give it to Fisk. It's terrible to give it to him, but he is the LVP of this episode. Like he doesn't do anything right. First of all, he lets Luca punk him. We didn't even talk about how he got fat again. He can't even fit in his suits. So he
he ripped the suit.
He has to get a new wardrobe. He gets told by the swordsman, "Oh, you have no power anymore, buddy. You're washed." And he gets told this, and then he's so mad that another man slept with his girl that he locks this man up and he just beats him up for fun. And it's like you're not listening to what Vanessa wants. You're not listening to what your girl wants at all. You're just doing shit for your own amusement because you're such a petulant child. Even though well written, this is what you expect of a Fisk character.
Yes.
His actions are just so LVP-ish. It's just like, bro, what a loser this guy is. No wonder. Like, it's just, I hate it. Like I thought for sure. I was like, just based on this video, how the episode was going to go, I was gonna say those 2 drunk chicks. Like, what idiots go up to a guy and a vigilante? That's your fault. No, it was Fisk. Fisk just kept doing stuff. I was just like, bro, what are you doing? Like, can you just like you're not doing the betterment of New York. You're doing it the betterment for Wilson Fisk. And, yeah, man. Like just everything that when you combine it, it's just like, man, Fisk was such a loser this episode. Such a loser.
He got that loser mentality. That loser mentality.
It's not even like a lovable loser. It's just like, bro, like, who cares? Like you're so sad right now. Like I could never imagine being all like, if one of my girlfriend had a guy friend and I locked him up and I'm like, I'm bored. I've got to go beat you up because you had sex with her at one time at a time. It's like, oh, calm down. It's not that serious.
We just had Chase roast Wilson Fisk here. If Chase is not back next week, we know what happened. He's locked in a cell somewhere.
Fisk is gonna find like, I saw the YouTube video.
Roasted Fisk worse than Karen did that time when she got really pissed off and just stormed into the hotel.
Yeah, it's like,
Oh man, that was great. But yes, we've come to an end of another review for Daredevil Born Again. I want to thank Corey and Chase for joining me once again this week. Thank you to all of you who are with us live watching us. Appreciate y'all. Nearly 200 across the platforms watching today, so we appreciate the support. Corey, let everyone know where they can follow you on social media and when they might see you again on their YouTube screens.
You can follow me at Corey Brennan FF. You can find my work on Fightful or Fightful Select, guys. Probably back on YouTube again, probably here next Sunday with SB3, but we'll see what happens with other stuff.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. Chase, what about you?
Yeah, you guys can follow me on X at ChaseOver68. Around the Point Network, AT Point Network. We're going to be releasing a part 2 to the WrestleMania trip guide. A lot of stuff that a lot of people don't know they should bring to Las Vegas, what they should expect, everything of that nature, pricing and stuff. Like I feel like people who are making the trip, they know what they're getting into with, ticket prices, but it's all the little stuff that adds up in Vegas, not just the gambling, but all the little stuff you don't think about when you're at Las Vegas, and especially because the weather, we don't know how it's going to be. It's like overcast one day, then it's like 100 degrees the next. It's in a desert, so a lot of people are not going to be acclimated to that weather. So Steve and I, mostly me, Steve's just there, but mostly me, will tell you how you can get acclimated to Las Vegas.
There you go. Go over and check that out on the Around the Point Network. You can follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. You can follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at TrueHillHeat. Patreon.com/TrueHillHeat. $3 a month gets you exclusive content. The best way to support us when we are not live here on the wrestling YouTube channel. I will be back on the wrestling YouTube channel where we'll be dropping our NJPW Sakura Genesis 2025 preview either on Monday or Wednesday. We got Rated Raw review on Tuesday. I'll be at Monday Night Raw tomorrow in London, England, so you'll get some live perspective of that. And yes, everything else that you usually enjoy. We got our AEW Dynasty preview over on the channel as well. We won't have a Power Book 3 Raising Kanan review this week because, like I said, I'm going to Monday Night Raw tomorrow, but we will be back with that probably the week following, so be on the lookout for that as well. But thank you so much to Corey. Thank you so much to Chase. Thank you so much to all of you. Check out all of our rest of our Daredevil Born Again reviews for episode 1 and 2. For episode 3, last week we did episode 4, and of course we appreciate y'all for joining us for our episode 5 and 6 review today. Like the video, subscribe if you are new. We are approaching 1,000 subscribers here on this channel, so we appreciate all the support. Before Chase, for Corey, it is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. This has been our Daredevil Born Again Season 1, Episodes 5 and 6 reviews. We are signing off until next time.